Good morning, adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. This morning we're getting ready to hit the road and head out of St. Joe or St. Joseph, whatever you want to call it. So I was getting my protein shake ready for the morning. I already have my collagen in here. I need to put some protein in. And these things have been really powering me in the mornings. So on the days that I'm not having them, I definitely feel the drag. So we're gonna make one this morning because I am tired. It started raining last night and wow. Let me just say this, in the rain, I just sleep so hard. It was hard for me to want to pry myself out of bed this morning. Not to mention we've been going nonstop. Now, yesterday we had a great adventure day. We went to a memorial for Walter Cronkite. We geocached. We did some shopping to get ourselves road ready for today. And today we have a drive. I'm not sure exactly how far we're going to drive today. Our end destination is about 2.5 hours. Are we gonna make it there? I don't know. We still have at least one day before we have to be there, but at the same time, we kind of want to get a little bit closer. So as I'm getting my protein shake together this morning, we were thinking, what is in store for us? I just don't know, but I do know we need to fuel up. We need to get some ability to dump some trash, and well, that's where we're gonna start today. But first, protein shake. Okay, I was just putting my bagels in here, so I'll have them ready, and then I put my other things away. And then I've been using these little clips to kind of stabilize because I have this one shaker cup that sits right here. Everything has a place, and if you put it back in place, everything stays organized and clean. I've been clipping my cord just so that it doesn't get too crazy, but leaving this one power bank where it's accessible to me, so I have that all set up so it's stable for the road. I like to push it down so it doesn't fly off, and I just kind of secure everything every morning to make sure we're good. So I think I'm ready to move to the front. Okay, I'm outside. The sun is kind of hiding. However, it is just bright enough that it hurts my eyes. So I think what I'm gonna do is go and grab some sunshades, get myself started for the day. Just finished off my protein shake, already feeling better. It's amazing how quickly I feel better when I just do the things I need to do in the morning, you know? So having a routine is really nice, and even though I travel like crazy fast, doesn't mean I can't have a routine. So one of the things that I'm making a point to do is do a little bit more self-care, and self-care doesn't have to look like just pamper me time with like my toes being painted or doing my skincare. It's also about like how I feel in the morning and how I get my day started. I think I'm gonna wear these again today because these are great for overcast weather. So I have that set up, and Collie is getting ready right now. I need to put up one window cover, and then I think we're ready to go. I also just kind of wet my hair down so that it would lay correctly, because at some point while I've been sleeping, I've been putting my hand up here and then it creates a knot, and then it just looked like I have a cowlick. It's fine. It's fine. So gonna pull the hokas out, and then I'll put the slides back into my little shower cap. I got the good shoes on, so we have a waterproof moment now. So maybe, just maybe, I won't get my feet wet in all of this moisture, because it's gonna continue today. This Cracker Barrel has been wonderful. However, today was the loudest day because they started receiving food deliveries. They dumped the trash. And then also there was something that was beeping. I don't know what that was. Now with this particular Cracker Barrel, they know that there's a ton of stuff here in town. So they do not care if you come here and stay more than one night. However, you do need to pull out during the day, go adventure, and then come back. You can't just sit here for like 2 or 3 days in the parking lot, but you can pull out, go adventure, and then come back at night. There's been 2 other people that have been doing that, one of which is a van that's over here. Every single day we've seen them come back, and it's because they're adventuring. So there's so many things to do in the St. Joseph area that they extend this offer. Now, it is a little loud out here right now because of this truck. So I think we're about to hit the road, and we figured out where the best uploads are for me personally on my cell phone. So we're gonna go back out to the college. I'm gonna upload a couple videos for you guys, and then guess what? Collie and I are gonna go and get some gas. We both need gas.
Hit the road.
And then we're gonna hit the road, Jack. And don't come back. No, that should be our song of the day. There we go. Hit the road, Jack. We're not Jack, but hi, Jack, if you're out there.
These are construction.
It's been a pretty nice little home over here in the back corner, though, don't you think, Collie?
Yes, it has.
We have liked this little section. It's just like right off in the corner. And even though sitting here, we don't have good solar because we're under the trees, it's also been nice because it has allowed us to have access to all the amenities of St. Joseph without being in the middle of all the chaos. It's pretty quiet here at night. Okay, so now that we've picked out our song of the day, we've already had our breakfast. We are heading out of the Cracker Barrel and we are heading toward the college. We have an entire plan now. We woke up this morning and we knew we had to do a few things, but we weren't sure what order we were going to do them in. And this just logically makes sense for us to do them in this order. So I think this is going to be a great start to our day. It is a little chilly with the rain, so I have on this nice little flannel. I always keep a couple different kinds of layers in the van, and flannels are a great way for me to keep a little bit cozy without being like warm. Does that make sense? So it's definitely a rainy flannel kind of day. I think it's supposed to rain kind of off and on in this area, but the area we're going to, according to the news this morning at least, is not supposed to have rain come through. So we're going to cross our fingers that we end up with another day like yesterday versus what we're currently experiencing. It's not that bad, but also it does kind of put a damper literally on some of the things that you can do because the ground just gets super sloshy. So I think that we're ready though. I've just kind of been doing a overall once over check. I have a checklist that I kind of go through that works with my van. I encourage you guys to always have a checklist to not only check everything outside but also inside before you hit the road. That way you don't have any cords that aren't plugged in, that you don't have any kind of things that are latches that might not be closed or anything like that. So I did all those things because let's face it, the other day I forgot to do one of the phases. That was my bad. So now we're being more attentive to that. And we have a 5-minute drive, so let's go. Gotta turn on the walkie so we can talk to Collie. There we go. Gotta turn this off because I no longer need that. Okay, we mapped out the college. Transformers, are you ready to roll out?
Yes, we're ready.
So to kind of give an update, all the things for the most part that Collie and I have been doing have been $5 or less. Most of them have been free around town and it has been fabulous. If you're wondering what all we've been getting into, make sure you go check out the last few videos. It has been so fun here in St. Joseph. And I never expected this to be like a destination that I would be like, oh yeah, but now I definitely think everybody should come here. Now the rain has made it interesting though, but you know, we have persevered. We've found indoor and outdoor attractions. It has been absolutely epic. Okay, we got the video to upload and now we are about to get going. The sun came out, so it's glorious. We were kind of looking at the map and it looks like we're not gonna have too much bad stuff going on our trip. We're hoping, we're crossing our fingers, and we are going to see how that works out. However, I realized while we were sitting here uploading that I need to do my ABCs. ABC, always be charging. So let's see how everything is going. Okay, so I have inside my trash, which needs to be taken out. Don't look at that. Ugh, gross. But I went ahead and plugged in these two small power banks because these are the ones that I use to charge my phone. And so I was trying to get those a little closer to topped off. This one is currently at 54%. This one is currently at 73%. I use one of these for my lights, one of them for my phone. These take forever to charge. So I figured starting them off now, even if we could get 10% by the time that we get to where we're going, that's a win. And because they are charging, it's pulling about 8 watts off of the all powers here. I had the van running, so this was charging already. So this morning we are already up to 95% on here. So this one will definitely be fully charged by the time that we get to where we need to be. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. And Collie and I were sitting here talking just a little bit about just random stuff and the things that are going on. YouTube's making some changes. A lot of you guys have been saying that the videos have either been glitching, you can't like things, you can't comment on things, not only on my channel, but on other channels. And so I was kind of doing a little bit of a deep dive to see if I could find out what's going on. Apparently they are updating something. I don't know what it is, but on my YouTube studio, I have a little thing on there that's saying some of the things might not be reporting correctly. So that's probably also impacting you guys. I don't know what's going on, but just bear with it. I know it's frustrating, but if for any reason you can't ever leave a comment or a like on my videos, it's okay. I understand. Thank you for letting me know though, whenever you can, because that helps me to kind of track it and see if we can see if there's any updates going on. I noticed some things on the backside of YouTube that are slightly different. So I'm hoping that because they're getting those things ironed out, it irons it out for you too. But with that said, I think we are ready to go and get some gas and dump the trash so that I don't have to like hold my hand over it and say, don't look guys. Oh, it's gonna be a glorious day and I'm so happy that we are getting started with this one. Now, for those of you who are following all these adventures, if you have not already, I always leave a description piece in the description of who I am traveling with. You've seen me travel with Riley, you've seen me travel with Dee, you're seeing me Travel with Collie. Make sure that you go and follow those people, not only at their @ sign, but also there's a link there for you. So go and follow Collie, because we're trying to build up her channel, because she is getting back on the road and going to be doing some really cool things, not only here with me, but also on some side quest adventures that she has going on. And at some point in time, we're going to convince Collie that she needs to do a van tour so you guys can see her setup, because it is really, really neat. She has, of course, the minivan setup, and it has some extra storage that I do not have that is below the ground, and it is so cool. Maybe we'll get her to let us have a sneak peek of it at some point. But remember, go follow Collie, and with that said, let's hit the road. Okay, I said that, and then I noticed that there's a lake over here. Hang on. We're gonna go look at this real quick. I'm not gonna walk all the way down because it's pretty mushy this morning, but there's geese. Okay, after browsing around and getting our little daily dose of nature, that was pretty awesome. Again, you can find beauty in everything that you do, and this campus definitely has it abounding with the different kinds of trees, the lake, the little flowers, the tiny things that you can find all over the ground, and the freshness after the rain is amazing. I really am happy that we found this indirectly because of yesterday's adventure, but that's okay. Neither here nor there. Good upload speeds. Beautiful campus overall, so very welcoming. Just goes to show that you can find something everywhere. Now, there's a couple of other things that we need to accomplish though, and we're just stalling at this point because that means we got to drive for like 2.5 hours. And before we leave, we're gonna check my tires, and then we're gonna head out and we're gonna go to Love's, and then we have a stop that's gonna be kind of fun that I'm excited about. Okay, so Collie just kind of looked over and said, hey, your tires look a little bit low. So we're going to check them because they do look a little weird. I think part of it is just my tires. They always look kind of weird. Here we go. Nope, we're good. Okay, let's check this one also. These were supposed to again be 48. So here we go. That was a bad grab. Let's try this again. Here we go. Yeah, they're pretty good. Okay, so since we're good, we're going to start up the van. It's getting warmer, so I took off my little flannel because we don't need it now. So we have, again, 11 minutes to get there, so that's not too bad. We can get gas almost 20 cents cheaper at Love's. And then also, if you use the Love's app or the Love's card, you can get 10 cents off that. So it's going to make our gas about 30 cents cheaper than some of the gas stations. So it is definitely worth going a little bit south before we go north so that we can get the good deal. Okay, we're almost there. It's right over here. Okay, let's get this trash and take it out first. Here we go. Okay, gas at the pump is $2.65, which is cheaper than the $2.79 to $2.83 in town. And then with the Love's discount, you get 10 cents off. So pretty good deal. Not to mention it collects points on your Love's app. So with you doing that, it is saving you money, but it's also giving you incentives and rewards for other things. Now with that, I am going to, after this finishes up, I'm going to go inside really quickly and use the restroom, and then we are off. It's a great start to the day. I'm so happy that we're getting out, and like the protein shake, I have so much energy right now. Like I could just go. Normally this is whenever we would go on like 10 adventures, do 5 side quests, and do 37 other things. However, we have a mission to drive today, so we have to get closer. But I think we are going to stop off at a place that was recommended to us in Savannah. There was a man yesterday whenever we stopped off at the conservation area. He said there is a family-owned business in Savannah that has great food, and so we are kind of thinking that that might be a good lunch. Now, normally I don't eat lunch if I've had a protein shake, so I don't know how hungry I'll be, but we're going to see what's on the menu. So we'll get there in a minute, but first let's see how much gas I have. Okay, looks like $24.98. Okay, gassed up. They're doing that construction inside, and it is wild. So they have the women's restroom currently in the men's restroom, and the men's restroom is outside. So that was different. So when you walk into the women's restroom, I didn't want to film in there because that's kind of weird, but as you walk into the women's restroom, there's urinals on the side, but they're all tarped over because they're not opening those up until they have the other restroom available for the women. So they're not making the women have to go outside, which is nice. Okay, we made it. I'm so excited about this one because, again, the band told us it was really, really good. We love to find local owned restaurants, and the story behind this one is pretty cool. So apparently the people who have this restaurant have been here for quite some time, and so it's a really good one and people highly recommend it, so we are super excited about it. This is going to be a hard one. There's lots of options here, tons of options. So he didn't give us recommendations, so that's going to be the hard part, so we got to figure this out. Okay, they have a Monte Cristo and it sounds delicious. It is served with soup and fries, so I'm going to get that and the potato soup. I am so excited. Everything looks delicious though, and I'm really excited about these also, but there's only one of me, so I just, anytime I see a Monte Cristo, I just try it because this is like my favorite kind of sandwich known to man. And then Collie said she is going to get this one right here, so we are all set. Oh my goodness, look at this. Okay, so the soup came out first. They make their soups fresh every day. Today they had a sweet and sour cabbage soup, and then they had the potato. I wanted the potato, so did Collie. It looks good. Oh wow, this is really, really good. So everything that they make is like fresh every single day. They don't really keep things and then use them the next day. So the soup, fresh, super good. The texture of it's kind of like a chicken and dumplings almost. It's very frothy and delightful. So cozy. Okay, I went with the Monte Cristo and it almost looks like it has like a French toast top on it. I'm super excited. There's so many fries here. Collie got the gyro or the gyro with fries, and this is one that it comes like this and you can put your toppings on or eat them separate. So Collie, this is looking good.
It looks really good.
I can already see that there's going to be a box in my future, and this is a napkin situation. So good, but at the same time there's so much food. Okay, $10.88, so that gets me 2 meals, so I already have dinner. In fact, I have a full dinner here. Look at this. Full dinner. The soup was so good and filling, but at the same time that made it where this meal stretched a lot longer. So that ends up being $5.44 for each meal. Sign me up. Not alone. Collie also has a full to go because there is so much food. It's so delightful. We contemplated if we were going to have room for any dessert. That's a big no, but at the same time, if we come back through here, we're coming back. Okay, I have a food coma, but Collie and I have figured out where we're going to go next. And so I think that you're going to see that adventure on tomorrow's video. But for the time being, we got to get there. We got like 2.5 hours to drive. So it should be pretty interesting. I need to put this in my van first because I already have dinner. And man, standing up after that is hard. Wow, I haven't eaten like that in a bit. Before we hit the road, we're checking our power station, and 73 and 73. I think this one is not charging correctly because it just keeps flashing. So I think I have an issue with this cord. So I think I'm going to change out my cords real quick and see if that solves the issue. So that's why we carry extra cords, because this happens sometimes. So unfortunately, I might have to chunk this one cord, but that's okay. I have lots and lots of them, and I go through a lot of cords because I charge a lot of things. And sometimes they just get used, abused, and damaged, and it is what it is. Okay, I plugged this one in, and this one is also just blinking. Huh, weird. This one is now blinking also, but we're gonna give it a fair shake. We're gonna hope that this fixed the issue. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep this cord just in case it isn't a cord issue and it's a battery pack issue. I'll put it up with my other cords that I charge things at night with. And if it turns out it wasn't the cord, I'll put this back in my cord stash and it'll be fine. For the time being, closing up shop, gotta put my food away, and then we're ready to go. Okay, I think I got everything to fit, so I'm just gonna cover everything back up again. Check my temps. Temps are good. And then we are ready to go. That's the nice thing about having a fridge, is if I have leftovers, I can always put them in here. I did go ahead and pull myself out one of my little Arizona green teas. This will be a nice drink to have as I'm driving down the road. This is turning out to be an absolutely epic adventure day. Every day looks different in my life. Even if our days kind of start off the same, where we wake up in whatever place we are, we put our things away, we take down our window covers, we wipe down the solar panel. Every day starts off the same, but it ends up in a vastly different place usually, because I don't sit still very long. So even in the times that we were just sitting in St. Joseph, for example, every day still looked completely different than the day before, even though we had a common theme of we were staying in one area. I don't usually just hang out and camp in a place unless I'm just doing it for relaxation purposes or for the purpose of just hanging out with friends. And so I like to move, I like to groove, I like to adventure, I like to see things, and I like to take you guys along for it so you can see all of the stuff. Now, do I expect each and every one of you to move at the same pace as me? Absolutely not. I understand that that is a wild notion. However, I do this so that you don't have to, so that you can see what the options are, so you can have great adventures, but at the same time so that you can see that, like, if you are interested in a fast-paced life, you can do this. Like, it's not a big deal. Okay, Collie and I were going through this little community and turning. We still have quite a ways to go, but there's an interesting building and it looks like it might be like an old historic jail. Oh, this is cool. We weren't expecting to stop here, but like we saw really cool architecture, and as we were going, we were talking on the walkies, and this is neat. Hang on for a second. We might have to explore for just a second. We're not gonna stay here very long, but there's something else over here too. So we saw this building from the back and it kind of looked like it might have used to have been a jail. I don't know what it is now, but it definitely looks cool. And it's next to what looks like the courthouse. And there's a war memorial here, but the only thing that we found, there's a mural over here that is really neat. Now this is the historic Bedford area. Zachary Taylor here, the 12th president of the United States, is who Taylor County, Iowa is named after. And it's historic Bedford, and it was named after Thomas J. Bedford. So they have this mural here across from the courthouse. It is so neat. You never know what you'll find whenever you just take a moment to stop and say, hey, let me look to see what we have around us. Now there's a couple other things though. Right up here, there's a bell, and then it's right across from the courthouse. So we thought we would check it out and see what this is, because it was so cool to find this little historic stop. So, you know, again, just keep your eyes open as you're driving. Okay, this bell right here is in honor of Ben Skane, and he was the fire chief for 32 years and a member of the Bedford Fire Department overall for 53 years. So that's pretty neat, and that's next to the Bedford City Hall, which is right across from the courthouse. Let's keep walking though. I see another mural in this direction that's kind of neat. Bright and colorful, kind of like my vibe. But again, right across from the courthouse. So as you're driving through, you can't really miss these. It's right on the main road. And there looks like there's potentially another couple of historic homes and buildings in this area. But check this out, guys. Do you see it? Small town, big heart. I love that. Now the roads here are all brick. And so it goes around the courthouse into their historic downtown area. Again, really neat older buildings, and you can see all around the courthouse tons of these, just really unique architecture. But I think we're gonna have to go and check out this guy. I'm enjoying this little walk around because it's a good stretch. Oh, there's something else up here too. I didn't see it a while ago. There's like an eagle. Okay, we'll go one step at a time here. This is interesting because this was a huge thing whenever I could see it from a distance, but standing next to it, much more huge than I could have even imagined. So at the base we have 1861, 1865, and is there something on the other side? Let's find out. We're going around 1864, and is there something on the back? There is. 1862. Each side has a different war symbol on there, the cannons, the swords, and it looks as though this is in memory of the defenders of our Union from 1861 to 1865. So this is a Union war memorial. Very cool, but there's more here, so let's keep going. I see an eagle, we see a stone, I'm trying to look to see if there's anything else. I don't know, we're just gonna have to explore. Whenever we're out and about, we always say look low, look high, look everywhere. Look at this one. This is a bicentennial capsule. They will be opening this in 2076. So if you're seeing this video, it's gonna be a long time, but mark your calendars for July 4th, Independence Day, 2076. And you'll be right here on the courthouse lawn, finding out what exactly is inside. Now, the thing I really love about coming to places like this is you can see the architectural pieces flanking the large arch in the front. It says 1892, and if you continue to go up to the top, you can look at the stonemasonry that they've used and the details all the way up to the clock tower at the top. There's a plaque up on the front, but before we go see that, I'm gonna go look at this eagle really quickly because this thing is pretty fascinating. I love finding places like this because historic courthouses have a lot of information about the people that exist in these areas, but also what makes the town great. And so this one definitely has some unique things, but look at this. This looks like it's carved. Just a tree has now been carved. Something probably happened to it and then they made it really nice. And this was placed by the BHS class of, it looks like 1950, and in honor of all of our classmates, June 2021. So this is very, very nice. This is an eagle that is carved onto what used to be the tree base, and it is right here in one of the best places, right by the courthouse. This is incredible. It does look like it was planted on behalf of someone and their honor, and I think that that's pretty nice as well. So the entire thing that we're seeing has a story to tell. So not only was it here to recognize someone, but also it was continued in the life and legacy through this unique sculpture. So that is really cool. But we're gonna go see this plaque on the courthouse because it looks like it is a bronze plaque, and in fact it is. This is an Iowa historic site. Courthouse here was built in 1892 and it took until 1893 to complete. The property is listed on the National Registry of Historic Places, and it is also recognized by the Iowa State Historical Department. Very neat, I can see why. Additionally, we learn at this location we are 1,093.55 feet above sea level. Now, the shade trees here are huge and beautiful, and they tell stories of the people also and the places, and many of them have little plaques alongside them. I'm sure that they're also dedication plaques, which is really neat. As we walk around this direction, we find the cornerstone here with the Board of Supervisors from the original construction and architect and everything like that. But we're making our way this way, kind of around the front, so that we can find what I saw earlier that looked to be a memorial, and I think it's right down here. So as we're walking down, again, you can see lots of historic looking buildings, older architecture everywhere. There are abundant like critters everywhere. It's so nice. And it is so green and lush everywhere around here. Now with that, some of the clouds look a little menacing, so we still have to drive a bit. We got sprinkled on a little bit as we first came into Iowa, but guess what guys, I finally made it to Iowa. Been trying so many times to make it to Iowa, and we're finally here. So one more little stop and then we'll hit the road again. You can see the courthouse behind us, and now here we've made it to their war memorial. This is a really nice one right around where everyone could come here and just have access to it. They have, of course, the flags up, and then they have this really nice memorial, but it has a couple of other little things down below, and it looks as though these commemorate each of the engagements of war. So World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, and then also the Gulf War here. And so this is just a nice way for everyone to honor the people of their community, and also to have a beautiful place just behind. I definitely want to spend a little bit more time here in the future. So I'm gonna mark this on my map and we'll be back. Every time that we go to a new community, I get some new brain wrinkles and I learn a little bit about, you know, who these people are in the communities. And it's so nice to be able to do that because it's refreshing to see the people preserve and keep their history so you can do those things. Not every place that you go to is going to have the most attractions, but this one actually has a few things around it that are really nice. They have a state park not too far from here and a few other things as well. We Googled and looked it up so we could learn a little bit more about Taylor County itself. And yeah, this definitely has some cool stuff. And it's not super far into Iowa from Missouri. I'm so happy that we made it here. But back to the van we go. We took a good stretch, and it's time. Okay, you know how I say that we look for brown signs? Well, today we found a different kind of sign. And that sign said Freedom Rock. And we were like, huh, that sounds interesting. If it's close, why not? So we drove through this little town of Blockton. And Blockton is just a very small place, but they have something very interesting here. Do you see this? This is called the Freedom Rock. And it looks as though someone has painted this and made it absolutely awesome. The interesting story is, whenever we saw this, I asked Collie, I said, I wonder if this is one of the Sorenson rocks. I had heard of this man before. Whenever I was doing some other things, his stuff came up and I knew that there was a really big rock. So I didn't know if this was that rock or if it was like a different rock. And so when we got here, sure enough, as I'm walking around the rock, I go to the back and there's a little plaque that says the Blockton Freedom Rock, and this is from Bubba Sorenson. So that is super cool. There are more of these in the state of Iowa. He is a native of Iowa, and he creates these massive like tributes to the military, and I think it's really, really neat. I don't know what got him started. I don't know the story behind it. Maybe one of these days we'll find the bigger rock. There's a 12-foot one somewhere, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. I'll do some research for that one though, because this is something that I would put some thought into, because these are fascinating. But again, we'll look at the images around the rock one more time so you can see the detail in this. This is a sizable rock, and in fact, I'm going to get Collie to let me kind of use her as an example for the height so you can see how tall it is, okay? Collie, how tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
So she's 5'4", and it's almost, like if we get even, it's almost the same height as Collie. So this is probably like a 5 foot, 5'2" maybe rock. And then around, it's huge. Like if I were to lay down lengthwise here, it's probably almost the length of my entire body. So this is not a small rock that was brought here. This is a huge boulder. And then the detail, look at this. The stars and stripes, each one of them, he has really put detail in there. He has the graves. This is Zachary Taylor, who Taylor County is named after. And this is in honor of all the military families of this area. But like even down to like the eyebrow hairs, you can see each individual brush stroke. This is fabulous. Also, we have another squirrel friend here too. Yeah, he's just being nonchalant over there, making sure we're not getting into anything too crazy. Sat down for a minute and found out that a lot of the counties in Iowa actually have one of these. This man is a busy man. But the big one is about an hour north of us, so we may actually go on a little bit of a Freedom Rock tour while we're here in Iowa. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but I think it could be really fascinating because each rock is different and it's significant to the things that are going on in that particular region. Now this man, he looks like he's probably about my age. He has a really nice family. They have a Facebook page for the Freedom Rock, and so there's tons of information, but I can't find a map as to where they're all located yet. So when I put in Google, so many Freedom Rocks pop up. So I may have to sit down and figure out where they all are in comparison, and maybe that could be an interesting thing that we could do. Now I know a lot of people are interested in fascinating things that you can find and also do for free, and this is something that you can come and see for free. But not only that, it's something that pays respect and homage to the people who have served, and I think that that is the bigger picture here. This is at a small veterans park. It's a very small town, like I said, but they have something very significant to celebrate all of those who served, along with some of the benches around. And so this has been pretty neat. I'm glad we stopped here. This inspired us to have another kind of adventure path in the future. So you might have to catch me in Iowa looking for Freedom Rocks on an upcoming episode. I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know if it's going to be a multi-day event or if I just kind of pick them up along the way and share them with you. But one way or the other, I think this is something that we both want to explore. So I am fascinated, I am intrigued, and I'm so glad that we found this. So now that we found this, Collie and I have been doing even more research and we pulled up a map. They do in fact have a map. So this might become something that we kind of pursue as we go through all of Iowa, in which case we got a lot of adventuring to do. But this one's getting a little bit long, so I think even though we haven't made it to our final place for the evening, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because, you know, you guys have been along on an extensive journey with us already, and we aren't even to where we're going to end up just yet, but we have a lot of daylight to go. So remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. We're going to use our brain wrinkles and figure out where we're going to go next. There's a lot of things to do in Iowa. I think people sleep on Iowa because they don't know that, but we're about to show you all of the stuff that there is. We have some time. Until next time, bye.